Hi. Alright, let me Modstream ping and then we'll get started here. We got a little bit of catch-up to do. We've gotten a whole lot of stuff from iquare because that man is a madman, is a beast. And he sent me a whole bunch of shit, so I'm going to go compile it all. And then I have to split some lines from yesterday's recording where I did a bunch of lines for Map 2 Darien. So I've already split the Steve lines and the other lines. So, in fact, we should probably get those over with immediately. Steve and Mike are already split, so just need to split myself. Sure, it will be painful.
Hey, you're not even here!
You. So yeah, after I do this and test all the new stuff from iquare, there's some data stuff that I've got to get set up, and then there's probably some placeholder asset selection that I'll have to make use of for special effects and weapons and all that stuff. I would like to avoid reusing assets if possible. I'm already technically reusing one, which is the impact of the activist weapon is the same as the impact of the bazooka bike missile explosion, but it looks a little bit more distinct, I guess. So while it might be difficult to tell the two apart, if they were side by side, in a vacuum you can easily distinguish, I feel like. So, there's that. Alright, and with that, I think we can close this program and make sure that it's not still running in our background. For some reason, Calculator always runs in my background. I don't know why. Seems like a virus. I always have to close Microsoft Edge as well. Okay, so this is where we delete all this, delete that. Delete that, delete that. Okay, so I'm going to map 2 here. Raw. So that we can grab all these. All right. Okay, we have our files. Throw them into, oops. Gotta go to this folder. I probably just did a classic move of what is supposed to be in here? Mod and structs. Do I have a structs? No. Well, I'll just have to send him this error in. If it's my error, he can yell at me. Alright, so in this particular case, I probably should have swapped out all of these files first, but that's okay. Stick these here. Find API in this list. What are you doing? Open the file. Update unit state should be Already opened. Let's find it in here. Here it is. I have a vague understanding of what I've opened in this project before. And what I have not. Alright, so that should be that. Let's compile, see what happens. You've been, what do they call that? Susaned? Because Susan Wojcicki, Polish last name. Giving me some of that sweet, sweet G Fuel. Alright. Check this out. The replacement for Firegraft draws near. Mongo's a banned word? Dude, that's psychotic. I've never seen that before. Alright, so we get, we've compiled that just fine. That's nice. Pop in here. Open up my backup. Also, apparently the, oh, not backup. Apparently there's an issue with what we were, with LaTeX, using LaTeX, I think, has some conflict with Firegraft. So there was no reason to put vocals in your electronic music. There was a DADCOD that I released yesterday that went over the same thing. So basically it was like, if you use PyMPQ, its default and seemingly bugged to always reset back to this default value, but its default value for number of files you can have in an MPQ archive is 1024. And so in this case, you'll notice I have 1028. I think that's because I don't have the Firegraft files in this particular exe, because what I did was I had to... Okay, there's two layers to this, but like I talked about in the video, basically, because there's that limitation and because I can't fix it with PyMPQ, I had to download LaTeX MPQ editor, which is much more easy to use, I should say, but has its own drawbacks. And so with LaTeX, I imported the... I rebuilt the MPQ from the ground up, right? And it has all the same files besides the Firegraph files. If I tried to... there's like a feature in LaTeX where you can raise the number of files that you can have in an MPQ archive, but if you do that and then don't also add new files, I think, PyMPQ refuses to work with it. I'm pretty sure even now, like if I were to do something like this, I was going to import it as A, I don't even know if it would work. Oh, it does work. Cool. So, interesting. What's so funny is it even says 131.40 megabytes is the size of the archive. But here, the file is showing 56 megs. And then down here it says 54.9 megs, which might just be a Windows bug. I don't know how that works. But it's showing a much smaller number, so I don't know how that works. The file limit, as DF explained to me, here, hold on, so I don't misquote him. Apparently, the file count limit is because of the hash table used for the file names. Since they're of limited size and it's not a fast process to change its size, it's better to give a specific size beforehand. But as both of us found out when I actually used LaTeX to increase the file size change was instantaneous. So this is something that, like, this information that was only true back when we had, like, the Pentium processors in, like, 2002 or something. So there is no justification at all for putting a file size limit and then making it so that you can't raise it. Like, even if it took a long time for this computational process to happen, you should still have the fucking feature. And so they remove the ability to raise the limit when obviously LaTeX MPQ editor does it, so it's clearly possible. But they remove the ability for you to raise the limit of an existing archive. And then PyMPQ has some verbiage in here where if you go into the settings dialog, and in general, the max file capacity for new archives cannot be changed for an existing archive. It says it right there, is 1024. And so, like, the feature is just not there at all for most of these MPQ editors, when MPQ is the same thing. So just having to deal with that was so silly. But the bad part is, right, the terrible, dreadful part here at the end of the day is that this, using LaTeX corrupts or removes entirely firegraphed files. So all your button sets, all your data requirements, etc. It doesn't seem to remove it in the MPQ's end, but you can't modify it after the fact. Like, you can't open up Firegraph and then open up the exe in Firegraph and read your old data. Your old data seems to be gone, according to Firegraph. It's probably just that it can't find the files once LaTeX re-indexes it or something. So what I had to do is I had to make a new MPQ file and using LaTeX, and then rebuild the whole thing from scratch. And now here we are with a new MPQ file that I then add to the exe using Firegraph. Apparently, though, this has some other drawbacks associated with it, because now iquare is finding out some psychotic crashes where if you use hold position in a unit that has a new button set, or at least like a recent, like if he makes a new button set after this point, and he clicks hold position, it just crashes the fucking game because some instruction jumps to outside of memory. And so I don't know how that can even be feasible. I don't know how that's even possible, but it's pretty psychotic. No. So here's the thing. That's what I was getting at earlier, Luciferius, is if you go into this, it says max file capacity. You can put any number you want here, and it always reverts back to 1024. You can go into the program itself and change it, like I have. Like, you just saw it said 1024. But in my PyMPQ, you'll notice it's like one of the first options here. I've set max files to 6,000. And it's not showing up in the settings. So there's probably some other 1024 shit. Like, I see 1024 referenced here. There's probably some, like, these are the only two references of 1024, but I'm sure there's some other function that, like, is stopping it from being raised higher than that. I don't know what would happen if I increase this to 6,000 as well. But the idea that I would have to modify the source code of the program to fix a bug with its settings just so that I can then remake my exe from scratch is so fucking asinine. I can't even begin to describe how dumb that is. And so that is where we stand right now. But odds are I'm probably one of the only people who's even tried to make an MPQ that has that many files. But that shouldn't like, you're still, that is, again, one of the first fucking things you see when you open up the source code for this particular program is you scroll down and you see, again, this is 60K right now, but it's, before it just read 1024. This is what I saw when I opened up the program, and I immediately saw 1024 down here. And like, the idea that you're writing this, it's at the top of your file, you see it right there. Like, this was deliberately written. Or I guess it might have been copy-pasted from old code and then transcoded into something that was compatible with Python. But either way, humans had to touch this code at some point. And they didn't think that maybe this was going to fuck somebody over who didn't know to look in their source code or look in the settings menu for something like a limitation of number of files. I mean, Stardat itself has over 3,000 files in it, or around 3,000 files in it. So obviously, if it, like, nobody would be accustomed to working within small limits. You know what I mean? So it's just psychotic. There's no reason for the limitation. It's like they grandfathered this limitation in from the days of the Pentiums, the Pentium 2 processors. So once we get iquare to help us figure out why the A's plugin is not compiling, I'll be able to test some of the new functions. Until then, we have some stuff to do, right? I guess that's just one of the detriments, the drawbacks of being at the bleeding edge of a field's development is you you are the most informed person. And you are not informed at all. Hey, you can't type this guy's name, by the way. It's illegal. Alright, let's get some more voice acting done. What do you guys say? Put a pause on the music. Start yelling because you can't hear me.
Ah, I see you found my men. No! Well, yes, but no! Listen, I have something. I have to tell you something. I borrowed your father's phone. Oh, wait, don't hang up! That tower is feeding my memers low-quality clickbait from BuzzFeed. You must destroy it. They'll fight for you if you destroy it. Wait, don't hang up again! Now that you've freed my memes, they shall assist you. Well, too bad. Time to meme! My base has been destroyed. I'm voiding you. My memes will attack you soon. Please don't be mad, but my memes are mobilizing. Incoming Reddit posts. Looks like my memes are coming for you. Prepare your defenses. My memes are on the march. Look out for my Redditors. Memes, destroy them! Time to click share on them. Let's show them what real anime looks like. I hope our enemies enjoy these memes. I worked hard on them. Reddit, attack! Gamers, rise up again! My memes are ready to strike here. I'm getting ready to strike these enemies. Whatever's here is getting memed. Time to meme these morons. The enemies in this area will be memed. I am memeing our enemies at this locus. Join me in striking these retards. I'm under attack. My memes are being destroyed. Help. Send emergency memes. I'm being killed. Hey, who's attacking me? Why is my base on fire? That's strange. I could have sworn I had allies who could defend me. Time for medicinal memes. Can anyone spare some bullets? The enemies attacking me are looking for some.
Crack! Attack! You! Crack not want to be crack again! Crack now! Wah! Okay. Torpedoes always pick broken fighter!
There you go. That was easy. All right, let's get these guys fan fiction edited, if you know what I mean. It's mostly going to be fun to split all of Mongo's lines, considering he's got so many. And again, most of them ended up being like AI transmissions, which is probably how it should be. Don't get me wrong. All right, we can minimize that folder there. One of the things I like to do when I'm doing edits like this, right? So I always like to run them through the FFT filter for mic rumble, and then after that I usually save it as a raw file. And then I run through the rest. But I also like to generally keep my workspace in a clean-ish scenario. So like the effects tab always displays most of what I need. I think there's a way to sort them into your own favorites, in which case I would probably do that and just, or at least like hide certain things that I didn't want, right? Yeah, that's part of the bit. It just makes sense. So I don't actually remember what I just made this voice like 3 days ago or something, and I don't remember what I used. Probably this.
Crack! Attack! Crack! Attack! You! Crack not want to be crack again!
Oh, maybe there is no auto-tune. Or if it is, it's like really light like this.
Crack! Attack!
That probably makes the most sense. And then I think in this one we did B and C. Or A and C. I'll probably do A and C, even though usually that feels too strong to me.
Crack! Attack! You! Attack!
Just fade out some of my breaths.
You!
So how are you doing, Veek?
Crack not want to be crack again! Crack now! Wah! Crack now! Okay. Torpedoes always pick broken fighter! Torpedoes always pick broken fighter!
Yeah, that came out alright. I'll probably adjust some of the echo strengths later. That should also be M2 crack, not just crack. Why does the escape key not do that? It's supposed to help me escape.
Torpedo!
P?
Torpedo! P!
Just saying, you could remix. Alright, so this is...
Ah, I see you found my men. No! Well, yes, but no. Listen, I have something. I have to tell you something. Listen, I have to tell you something. I borrowed your father's phone. Oh, wait, don't hang up. That tower is feeding my memers low-quality clickbait from BuzzFeed. You must destroy it. They'll fight for you if you destroy it.
I'm not gonna lie, whenever I hear this guy's voice, well, at least in this context where I'm editing it, I always have this, like, I start positioning my tongue in the same way that I do to, like, actually make that accent, to make that inflection. It's like a very subconscious thing. I don't know why.
Wait, don't hang up again.
It's getting into character, man.
Now that you've freed my memes, they shall assist you. Well, too bad. Time to meme! My base has been destroyed. I'm voiding you. My memes will attack you soon. Please don't be mad, but my memes are mobilizing. Incoming Reddit posts. Looks like my memes are coming for you. Prepare your defenses. My memes are on the march. Look out for my Redditors.
I like that I accidentally, this time around. He didn't always have that speech impediment, but...
Memes, destroy them! Look out. Time to click share on them. Let's show them what real anime looks like.
It's pretty good.
I hope our enemies enjoy these memes. I worked hard on them.
Oh, what's up, Connor?
Reddit, attack! Gamers, rise up again! My memes are ready to strike here. I'm getting ready to strike these enemies. Whatever's here is getting memed. Time to meme these morons. The enemies in this area will be memed. I am memeing our enemies at this locus. Join me in striking these retards. I'm under attack. My memes are being destroyed. Help. Send emergency memes. I'm being killed. Hey, who's attacking me? Why is my base on fire? That's strange. I could have sworn I had allies who could defend me. Time for medicinal memes. Can anyone spare some bullets? The enemies attacking me are looking for some.
Excellent.
Reddit, attack! Again! Send emergency. My memes are being. I'm under. In striking these retards.
Okay. We've figured it out. We've done our duty. I also don't remember if there was anything for this guy as far as a... I think at some point I had tried to make a...
I see you found my men. I see.
I was at some point looking to do some auto-tune with him. I think it was going to like raise his pitch a little bit, but that ended up being too aggressive or something. I don't remember anything related to it, to be honest.
I see you found my men. I see you.
Yeah, it sounds better the way it is, I think. We'll just slap that anime flange on him. Oh, first I should... I guess with this particular guy, I should do all the edits and then do the radio sound thing. Alright.
Ah, I see you found my men.
I don't actually remember what the other one sounds like, so I should compare and contrast. Oh, the fuck? Somehow I managed to close this one.
I can't believe you killed all my production structures.
Okay, it looks like it's like one of these.
Ah, I see you found. Ah, I see.
Yeah, that's probably it. And then grab these, run it through this.
Ah, I see you found my men. No! Well, yes, but no! Listen, I have to tell you something. I borrowed your father's phone. Oh, wait, don't hang up!
Now, maybe that echo is too strong. I don't remember it being like that. Imagine that being a real sentence. What was it then? It definitely wasn't this.
Oh, wait, don't hang up!
Oh, maybe it was. I don't know. We'll try it. See what happens. That's why you should write this shit down.
Ah, I see you found my men. No! Well, yes, but no! Listen, I have to tell you something. I borrowed your father's phone. Oh, wait, don't hang up! That tower is feeding my memers low-quality clickbait from BuzzFeed. You must destroy it.
All right. This I can deal with. That'll be it. There we go.
No!
Yeah, usually I do. I think I probably did for last year, but I don't know where they would be. It's okay, though, because at some point... I mean, his effects seem pretty solid. The latest crack round seems pretty good, too.
They'll fight for you if you destroy it.
But I might try to reinvent
Wait, don't hang up again!
the voice profile later on.
Now that you've freed my memes, they shall assist you. Well, too bad. Time to meme! My base has been destroyed! I'm voiding you. My memes will attack you soon!
Oh yeah, this is gonna be some psychotic file name. Hold on.
Please don't be mad, but my memes are mobilizing. Incoming Reddit posts. Looks like my memes are coming for you. Prepare your defenses. My memes are on the march. Look out for my Redditors. Memes, destroy them!
He sounds pretty good when he's angry.
Time to click share on them. Let's show them what real anime looks like. I hope our enemies enjoy these memes. I worked hard on them. Reddit, attack! Gamers, rise up again! Ah, my memes are ready to strike here. I'm getting ready to strike these enemies. Whatever's here is getting memed. Time to meme these morons. The enemies in this area will be memed. I am memeing our enemies at this locus. Join me in striking these retards. I'm under attack!
Oh, yeah. It's in here.
My memes are being destroyed! Help? Send emergency memes! I'm being killed! Hey, who's attacking me? Why is my base on fire? That's strange. I could have sworn I had allies who could defend me! Time for medicinal memes! Can anyone spare some bullets? The enemies attacking me are looking for some!
Perfect. An announcer pack of manga, yeah. Hell yeah. I should do that at some point, to be honest. I don't even, like, it would be possible. It is feasible to make it happen too. So in 1.16.1, all you would need to do is you would have to go to your Starcraft folder wherever 1.16.1 is installed. You'd create a folder. Well, basically, I would distribute a folder, and all it would be is the folder would be sound, and then in that folder would be whatever the file path is to this file. So it would be like sound, Zerg, advisor, and then the files would be in here. And all you'd have to do is put the sound folder in your Starcraft folder, and it would overwrite anything. So even in another mod or in Melee by itself, all you have to do is throw a folder in there, and it works. So, just saying, it's a possibility. Yeah, I actually did show the screenshot earlier on stream. I zoomed in and I was like, the replacement for Firegraph looms on the horizon, or something. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I'll be thinking about those at some point. I was just explaining to Connor how we can we can use. I can distribute Mongo announcer packs so that when he plays, I guess when he plays as anybody, it wouldn't matter. Also, the thing is, if you wanted, like, say you were playing a Protoss campaign, but you still wanted Mongo, all you'd have to do is, in that sound folder, replace the folder that says Zerg with Protoss, and it immediately works. Well, I guess those file names would have to be different, so maybe not. I don't know. What I would do is I would distribute, like, a pack, and they would all be renamed to whatever the right file names would be in the right folders, and you would just download, and whatever you wanted to put in there, you would put in there. Pretty dumb. I like it. All right, so let's test that. The changes. No, get out of here. Why would you do that instead of sending me to that? Windowsed off. Alright, so what exactly still needs to be done with the
Depravity complete.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready.
Check your inbox.
I see the man.
Keyboard's ready. Comments incoming.
Ready to rock and roll? By any means necessary.
I'm not getting damaged by any of these.
By any means necessary.
Now, why would it say no Cullen config? Is what I want to know. Was there some other... Yeah, SC1 co-op commanders, yeah. Why not? Was there some file I needed to do? What needs to be added? Well, I might not have... I don't have, like, an updated iScript or anything, so I don't know what needs to be changed there. Because you said something about that. Or we had to sync the iScript timer with something else. But I don't know what opcode I'm missing here. I have Cullen resource mining and a bunch of other stuff. What am I missing for the opcode? Oh, okay. I can't type today for some reason. Okay. So that's that. Make sure it's actually closed. Nice. What? Oh, it's one of these bugs again.
Hey, do we ride the same bus?
Why is... What? Why would these files be loose in here? Alright. We'll try, that.
Depravity complete.
Well, it's not showing that message anymore, so it must be working. So you said football gear works?
Upgrades complete.
Are you my dog? Hey.
Vero Mithril. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
No. Pay me.
Well, this one works fine, it seems.
No.
Upgrades
Are you my
complete.
dog?
Oh, Gatorade works. Okay.
I wonder
Upgrades
what Ahmed
complete.
would do. What is that?
Hello. Upvote. Anything you ask. Upvote.
I'm not quite sure why that
Anything you
flickers, but...
I wonder what Ahmed would do.
Upgrades complete. Upgrades complete. Upgrades complete. Upgrades complete. Upgrades complete.
Are you my dog?
Oh, okay, bye. Yeah, that's the crash you were talking about. What the fuck? Why? Why? Why would you have to do that?
Upgrades
Are you my
complete.
dog? What is that?
Oh, hold on.
No. No. Yeah, no. Like, yeah. What is that?
Upgrades complete.
It seems like a moderate
Yeah,
improvement.
No. Like, yeah. What is that?
What's up? Engineer.
What do you want?
Oh, it's because it adds health and shields, yeah. Yeah, you said that for some reason the it doesn't work in lower levels or something. Oh, should we make the values bigger? What's the minimum value that each upgrade will actually have an impact? Yeah, 58, 57, and then Pizza Quest is 44. It would probably be broken, yeah. Well, that's all right, I guess. We'll need a better way to go about that, but it's okay. It's okay. What if I told you to make... I was like, all right, iquare, I got an upgrade that should be super easy. All it does is increase max energy. I can't even say it with a straight face. So I'll see you tomorrow when you've done that. And you're just like, you actually. Okay. All right, so what do we need to do with the iScript for... My feeling to burn fire impact graphic is 112 frame animations. So in theory, if the timer is also 112, there shouldn't be any issues. The other stuff that I should go looking for is probably some particles and stuff. Honestly, I should, what I should do here... Alright, I should definitely not do this, but I'm doing it, so... I have to separate this out into another layer, almost certainly. Red is so that when I finish the recolor, I don't have to I don't accidentally leave any spots. Who would have thought I would have actually learned something from converting those stupid Starcraft 2 assets? Like, learned something applicable. Pretty hilarious. Thanks, Koreans. I'm pretty sure I have to go back over here and find, yeah, bits and pieces. Unfortunately, the only other, like, quicker way would maybe be manually selecting it, but as agonizingly slow as this process is, I don't think it would be particularly useful. I think if I had Voyager's PSD, these would be super easy to fix. But alas, working with what I got here. Truth be told, I've had my eye on this unit for quite a while. Ever since I saw it. And, glad I have enough time to put it together, man. Alright. Oh. I actually don't know what I want with the Elka. I'm converting it into a Terran/police color scheme. Background was red so that I didn't accidentally get any black pixels inside the unit or whatever. Like if I... Oh, the other thing I guess is... I should do this. This is what I should be doing. Because I'm converting it to something that... Oops. There we go. It's weird that they're calculated differently. I kind of thought that they would be checked in the same setup, you know? But I guess not. What was the other one? It was I think your stuff. What were we talking about with your project, your tool there? I think once we have that in action, things will be going pretty fucking well. Like, once we have that tool going, we'll ditch Firegraft eventually. Like, all we need to do is get button sets. Like, if you get those first 3 tabs, units, button sets, debt requirements, you get those fully fleshed out, we will not need Firegraft. The only thing it's used for other than that is generating EXEs and adding MPQs. I think we can do both of those with MPQ draft, or adding plugins rather. But even that is not, hopefully that's not that big of a deal for you to program in after the fact. But like, just getting those 3 tabs done is so fucking good. Oh, okay. Not so bad then. Will this be useful for any other stuff, like further down the line with Hydra or whatever? Will it be useful for like overhealing or anything like that? We might actually be able to, you know what I was just thinking about is rather than, like, I was worried, I wanted the Void to use Terran units, or police units. We might be able to do that just by making them trainable from the Retcon Orifice. But I kind of wanted the Retcon Orifice to be used specifically for Void units, and have the other buildings do their thing. We still have to figure out why the Void can't build. I have a feeling that the reason why I had to use Q for building the workers is because the Recon Orifice isn't a Nexus, like it's not a default town hall. But even outside of that, I don't know why the cosplayers then don't build the Zerg structures. Football with actual physics. Can you imagine adding actual physics in Brood War? I mean, I'm sure it's been done. But it's pretty silly. It says that there are requests. Here, I'll show you.
I wonder what Ahmed would do.
As you can see, though, there's a create script start area town for both of these towns, and they're not getting assigned properly. I think it's probably because I have to put that at the top of the thread or whatever before start town. I just now realized that that's probably what's causing that. But I don't know why the rest of it is like that. We'll try that instead. Bing, 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 bing.
I'm all set up over here.
Okay, cool. So these seem to be all part of their own town now. Maybe. I can't really tell. Because they're all assigned to the same resource area. In theory. I don't know why this is assigned down there, but whatever. Probably be just because that one's start town. I guess this one should be assigned to Crack, and this one should be assigned to Mongo. See how that works out. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, they have a request for a craft store in this town, but their Void car is not doing it. When they had cosplayers, they also did not do it. If that's what that command does, then yeah, I could just do that. I don't think that's what it's getting hung up on. Though I guess I wouldn't be surprised. But it's more likely that the yeah, I just can't build for whatever reason.
I'm all set up.
Yeah, so these are all separate towns now. This one, for some reason, doesn't bother satisfying it. And I couldn't get them to build void cars normally. I had to use Q. But, so now they have, you know, requests for craft store still. Right? At least over here. Over here, not yet, because I haven't written base layouts for these. Or build threads for these. But for these ones, like, this build thread should be fully operational. I don't know why this one doesn't work for the, that's town B. Transport, Smudgy Boys are not transports. That would be fucking funny. But they're not transports, no. It's weird that, this is not coming into effect for Town B. They should definitely have something here. Yeah. I can do that for you. You actually. Yeah, if we can't solve that, then we don't have any fucking functional enemy for Cullen to fight. So it would, that's pretty important. Alright, I'm throwing those in this folder. And I'm sending it your way. Okay, so anyway, that aside, back to my exploration of what a unit I want to replace. Yeah. I think what I'm probably going to need to do when I redo the work for this mod, I think I'm going to need to make the barracks much smaller. Because add-ons are so fucking big. You know what I mean? or such a big deal. I think the garage having add-ons that are the size that the add-ons are makes sense. So like something in that range for a barracks, an academy, in this case the police academy, would be better. $145 for the craft store. And anime build it just fine, so for whatever reason I can build it with the unit as well. The where is it? Where do I find it? If I pop into here, the void car.
What do you need? Cosplay complete. Ready to dress up. Let me get my supplies.
So they both work, as you can see. Bing, bing, ba bong. It's likely just one of those limitations with the AI where they really don't do what you want them to do. Another project that exposes the limits. Hey, down here. I'm supposed to add another add-on. I don't know where the fuck it's gonna go. All right. Quick bathroom break, and then I will return. Oh shit! I'm big! Check this out, guys. We got a delivery. Wonder what it could be. Unboxing stream. Gotta get in there. On all ends here. All ends. There we go. One flap open. Second flap open. Loud ass noise. A box within a box. Let's check this out. Ah, it looks like it's an Eagle Tech mechanical keyboard. Just look how mechanical it is. Just look at that. You see that mechanical thing? You see that? Seems a little silly to me. Put some tape here. Had some tape here. Just got to keep cutting here. There we go. I don't think I needed to cut that at all, but that's okay. Alright. Bubble wrap. Weak ass bubbles, but that's okay. Pretty good. Manual fell on the floor. I don't know why you would need a manual for a keyboard. That's the U key. It works. Check me out. Seems pretty sleek. I explicitly went for one that didn't have a backlight because LED is AIDS. So, give me a moment to get all this ready. Just trying to get the Velcro off of the... I think I have to split it from the middle. Is this Velcro thing supposed to stay on? Blues? Yeah, isn't that like a keyboard term? I think so. I don't know. Yeah, I think this Velcro stuff is supposed to stay on. I don't, unless I'm supposed to cut it off. There's no actual way to do that. All right, so now my first mechanical keyboard has arrived. I'm sure it's going to be epic. You guys are going to love hearing me type. That's going to be epic. All right, let me find the keyboard thing. All right, put it in the back of my CPU. Real trial by fire here. All right. So this is the old one. It's very dirty. It's very shitty. Definitely not mechanical. Get it out of here. Out with the old, in with the new. Wow, look at that. You guys can't see that yet, but I'll show you in a sec. That's interesting. I've never had that before. I've got to get real loaded in this one, guys. Oh, what are you doing under that table there? Oh, why is there a bear under there? What are you hiding from us? Cool. Alright. I'm glad that the user guide is literally 1 page long. That's it. They kept it simple. Not even full of paper. Alright, let's get back to taking a look here. This is gonna take some getting used to. Alright, so so this is the keyboard, right? But if you look at it from the angle that I look at it every day, right? Or I will be looking at it every day, you can actually see underneath the keys. This is the first time for me. Never had a mechanical keyboard before, so it's probably everybody who already has a mechanical keyboard probably already knows this information. They're like, of course, yeah, what did you think was going to happen? But they bounce. Pretty epic. And so we're back. Let me just make sure it works. That would be a good thing to do. Fix my webcam. It works. I can you people. Dude, it's a little weird, I gotta say. It's gonna take some getting used to. Let's write some stuff, man. Let's write some AI. Alright, hold on. Let me, according to Knave's A's function, nothing prevents Void from satisfying craft store requests, but sometimes they're given to simulator requests. Yeah, that's default AI behavior. What if I give them pylon gateway requests instead of anime? Would they build them? Yeah, they build Protoss structures. I mean, I can do that right now just as a test. Where's map 1? Whoa. I'm not used to the enter key being that way. It's pretty cool. I like this. So there you go. Did a keyboard unboxing event. Pretty psychotic, but you know how it is. Oh, I'm expecting you guys to really hear this keyboard, dude. This is psychotic. This is a loud ass keyboard.
All set up over here. Hell yeah.
Yeah. They don't seem to be building the gateway for some reason. Did I fuck up the request? No. They have a request for a gateway, but they won't satisfy it.
Remember me? It's Mango. You actually.
My enter key before was, yeah, it was like, you can, I don't know if you can see it because it's obviously we're in tiny mode now, but it's like 2 keys in terms of height. So, whereas this one is just 1 key. So, like that's why I'm sometimes pressing the slash because that's where my key was before. But that's okay. I'll figure it out.
Hey, what are these Void doing here? I'm not even done working on that race. Oh no, they've retconned themselves into the map. That's just wrong, man.
Things return. Crack's fanfiction, punch them. Did he say punch them? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Crack is sure. Crack is not. Crack this time. Die.
It's also a very cold keyboard, which is probably as it should be, but it's funny. The point of the Void units, well, they're meant to build a whole base, and here, I'll show you the AI placement map, so you'll see what the point of them is. So if they were working properly, all of these purple structures that you see that are anime structures in the middle of fucking nowhere, those would all be owned by the Void, and they would be building it. So, the point of them is to provide an enemy for the micro player to fight, and they don't show up if the micro player isn't present. So, for example, right now the micro player is the only player you can play as in the map, but eventually, like for release or whatever, I'll modify it so that you can just choose whichever one you want by playing in multiplayer lobbies. But essentially, what you get is the ability to decide, hey, I'm going to play as, you know, Cullen as a micro, as Steve or Darian as macro. If the micro player is present, is a human player, then the Void activate. Otherwise, the Void do not activate. So you could just play 2-player RTS co-op where 1 player is Steve, 1 player is Darian, or single player is one of those, and you would just be fighting Crack and Mongo in this 2v1v1 situation that you have. They are a buffer. They're definitely a gimmick as well. It's a very off-the-wall project. Like, it's not something that where I feel like it's well... the systems may be well thought out, but the execution is such that, like, we're in a tiny map that doesn't really have that many expansions, that doesn't have that much room, that I also didn't have time to expand in terms of map size to properly support it. So we were always going to have some sort of rough around the edges shit. But in this particular case, most of what we have to worry about at this point is just making sure that the Void work. And if they do work, it'll be a very crowded but still like
appropriately silly and psychotic experience that I think my brother will enjoy. The micro stuff is also very underdeveloped, but that's because it was like a last minute, like we haven't even had a full month to work on the micro stuff conceptually, let alone in a technical sense. And so it's stuff like that that, you know, I'm not really expecting much in the way of like well-polished content. The most polished content is definitely the RTS side of things. Oh, hello, Serenia. Welcome. Thanks for the monkey sound. So, yeah, essentially the micro stuff is like underdeveloped in a conceptual sense, and it's not even as like the technical version of it, like the implementation of it this time is rushed, so it's not going to be as well developed as the conceptual stuff would have been. Like conceptually, I had the idea that you'd be able to pick different items, like a MOBA, and that would change how your hero actually behaved, like the attacks that you had or the armor class that you had, like small, medium, or large, stuff like that. Now it's just classes, so you just pick between classes. It's basically changing unit IDs. So it's obviously much more primitive, I guess, in that sense. But that's just because we had a time constraint. So it's very much like a rushed aspect of it, whereas the RTS stuff is much more well thought out. The balance of the races and stuff is more well thought out than you know, the micro stuff, which is it's more or less an afterthought, in theory. Yeah, I'm a modder and otherwise crazy person who still works with this game. Right now I'm working on a birthday present for my younger brother, starting 16 in 5 days. We're trying to finish this 2 maps for him. The first map is pretty much done. We just got to get one of the enemies to work, and the second is a little bit further from completion, but I should still be able to finish it. I just did all the voice acting for it earlier today. But yeah, we're basically working with replacing 2 of the races and like a quarter, a small percentage of the third race. So we have anime, which is the Zerg type looking guys that you see here, right? They don't use creep, but they still sacrifice their workers to build structures. There's some similarities. And they're separated into separate factions, of like sub-factions, if you will. So there's like the Redditors, and then there's the fanfiction guys. And so depending on like who's around, like which player you're attacking, they're going to have access to different technology within that race. And then there's the police, and the police are the Terran-looking structures. This is an AI test map, or not test map, but like an outline of where the code actually, what the AI actually do. This is the map as it is when you start it. And so you have police down here, anime up here. You mine donuts and coffee, which is what you see over here. Donuts. Find a coffee mine somewhere. There we go. Coffee. I'm not sure. The thing is, like, if we were all the way back in like November and I was just starting to work on this and I had all of the like concepts or whatever, I had some experience. Like we go back 2 or 3 months in a time machine. I would have just made like a hero arena map or something, because that's what my brother likes as far as gameplay goes. I like RTS content, so I was trying to merge the two. Because at first I thought we would be playing this co-op, but he doesn't have access to a computer outside of mine. So when he's playing it, it's going to be on my computer, and so he's going to have to play it in single player. So I wrote AI to control the AI allies, and he'll play by himself as a micro player, and I'll just be in the room or whatever. So that'll be fun. But yeah. It's pretty silly. It's pretty goofy. So there you go. Starcraft is pretty good. Yeah, it's the best RTS for sure, in terms of like competitive gameplay or whatever. It is free to grab, so if you wanted to grab it, you could go over to my Wikidot. I can post the link in the chat in a second. I just, this particular version, I mean, the whole thing is free, but I would stay away from the remaster unless you want to play multiplayer. I would, if you're trying to play mods or custom content, like custom maps, like you were talking about, then you want to stick with 1.16.1, which is an older version of the game. Blizzard broke a lot of mod support with the new version, which is pretty common, unfortunately, with all developers. There is still some rudimentary mod support possible, but unfortunately, it's just a disaster, unfortunately. I tried to work with the remaster not so long ago, back in 2018, and it didn't end very well. I had to eventually backport it over, because whenever the game ships with a reasonably large update, the mods break and have to be remade. And so not only does the developer have to remake the mod, and so they have to redistribute all their work, but the user has to download an update. And so if the user doesn't download the update to the mod, but updates their remaster, which they have to do in order to play it because it's always online, they will just break all of their stuff. And so it's not very accessible, we'll say. Whereas 161, while being an older version of the game, in theory, has plenty of content that you can experience. And so all my work is on 161, this older version. And most of everybody else's work is on there too. Like most of the other developers that are still working on stuff. But that page should show you exactly what you need to do to get the thing set up. Some of it is more complicated than other stuff. Like if you don't really care about playing online, you don't really need to read more than half of that. Just for installing it, it's just like the first 2 bits will take care of you. Right, yeah. The base game is free. And if you wanted to play the remaster is also free for the standard definition graphics. You have to pay more to get a ladder and also to get the skin pack, which is pretty silly in my opinion. But they made the base game free, and so that's what allows us to distribute 161 for free as well, legally speaking, because they made basically the same thing free on their end. So that allows 161 to be downloaded for free, and you can enjoy it. As far as future projects with micro stuff, though, I'm not really interested in that. I think you could do something pretty interesting with the relic system. Like, it basically, if Hydra, my other project, if that project goes well, and you end up getting to the point where you're dealing with, like, oh, I'm, you know, I want to make a custom map using Hydra stuff. Like, you could probably make a pretty, like, a half-decent MOBA or Battle Arena using the outline, like, using the technology. But I wouldn't, I don't think that's something that I'm super interested in. Maybe as like a weird, wacky adventure co-op map or something. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I saw you mention Max Build earlier. I'm not sure what the cause of that issue is, but if we can at some point set aside time to investigate why AI duplicate those requests or infinitely build supply structures when they get a request in an area town, that would be nice, because I really don't I don't follow. I don't know why they do that. All right. Enjoy my mechanical keyboard, by the way. Just got it, and it's pretty psychotic in terms of how loud it is. So enjoy that while I write some AI. Just I don't really want to do that. Here, we'll go into this. Yeah. Yeah, Starcraft 2 is a much worse game, but obviously some people prefer it for some reason I can't understand, I don't connect with, but in terms of actually being an RTS, it was a much worse title. Like, most of the time when you play the campaign, for example, you're not playing an RTS. And they took away a lot of the things that make StarCraft a skill-based game and turned it into, like, rote memorization, hard counters, like, patterns, trying to be perfect, whereas StarCraft 1 was about, like... Well, the comparison I always draw is StarCraft 1 is make less mistakes than your opponent, and you will probably win. StarCraft 2 is be as close to perfect as possible. And there's, like, an important distinction. In order to be, like, successful at a competitive level, there's an important distinction between those two things, and I don't believe that Blizzard did a great job of making sure that that distinction was felt. Do I actually have... Well, I guess that's an answer to that question. Let's move this over here. I want to go compare this to the town here. Make sure my priorities are accurate. That's going to be a problem. I'm going to keep hitting that key. Oh, okay. Oh, relics are like a custom edition for a mod of mine, a project of mine. So basically, the project that most people know me for, as far as what I'm like actively working on, is probably Project Hydra, if I had to guess. It basically reinvents the game. Like, it's updating all of the tech trees, adding a bunch of new units and a lot of new upgrades. And it also adds in hero mechanics. It's mostly an experiment. I don't know if heroes really have a place in a competitive RTS, but I'm wanting to experiment with basically allowing players who prefer to express their skill through micro to still find a way to do that in this project. Where the game scale has gotten bigger. I've raised the maximum supply. Eventually I'm going to remove it once we have the ability to do that on the engine level. And stuff like that. So the relics are a specific feature for Protoss, and the Protoss race is like these advanced technological aliens. And so basically the way that they work is their heroes are kind of standard at a glance, but you can equip new items on them, and that's what the relics are. The relics are just items. So you get you unlock them first by purchasing them, and then if, for example, you had a bunch of Protoss in the same map, like it was a free-for-all, each Protoss, well, you can only have one relic in the game of the same kind. So, for example, there's like a relic called Tempest. Well, only one player can grab Tempest. You know what I mean? So it's not like there can be multiple Tempests. So the idea is it's almost like a grab bag or an arms race to get that up together. I gotta skip this song because it cringes me. That's basically the idea. So the relics are like unique items. Only one of them can be in a single match at the same time. Even if it's like your ally getting it, you can't get it then. So there's some communication there to be had. And the relics significantly alter how the hero functions. So, for example, there's one that revives any organic unit that the hero kills. And that unit has a timer for about 15 seconds. And they revive with half of their life. And all of the energy that they had, too. So if you kill, like, a High Templar, for example, with this, you can then cast Psystorm, which is a powerful area denial spell that deals a lot of damage, depending on how it works. So this is where we're, like, again, if you're keeping track of your hero and you're spending your APM micromanaging your hero, you can do that and find some pretty impactful windows of opportunity for you to then deal with a large number of enemy units that are built as a macro environment. You just have to take your fights differently. And so it's not like you're only using your hero. You're using your hero and a bunch of other stuff, and you're spending resources that you're mining through your expansions in order to augment your hero. So it's still the same RTS mechanics, just you're expressing the power budget through a hero and its items as opposed to by building a lot of units or whatever. In Consummate's probably the most well-known completed project. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's definitely an experiment in Hydra, the hero thing. Yeah, relics are like not in the base game. You'll find that the base game of Starcraft is seemingly simple, but it's one of those easy to learn, hard to master things. You know what I mean? So. This got here just in time for Fraud Night. See how loud I just by pushing W, A, S, and D in Counter-Strike, I'll be able to intimidate my opposition. They'll hear that and they'll be like, "Oh fuck!" And we were going to, yeah. I'm gonna be updating Stormborn around the first week of February is when I'll start. So, whatever we feel like implementing at that point could work. You let me know what you think. So after their first sub forum, I was gonna give them the kissing station request. Looks like they only have 2 craft stores in this base. Oh, Slack group. One, two, three. What's up, Alexander? Yeah, relics are items for heroes in my project, and they don't exist in default StarCraft, and they have nothing to do with economy. All right, iquare, I appreciate your time. Do we know what's wrong with the? Oh, never mind. You already sent this message and I missed it.
Here, I'll DM you about the filling the burn stove. Yeah, we don't know why that happens though, right? Yeah, yeah, you told me what's wrong about Void. Hopefully that that one fix is all that you need for it to work properly. All right. I mean, eventually, the biggest problem is like finding a way. I'm not an art guy. I don't know any 3D modeling, but the biggest problem seems to be like if we can get enough people who know how to do 3D models, then we can like render them out as sprites. That wouldn't be too big of a deal, but it's most of the time we're just ripping assets from older games, doing a lot of conversions, which is unfortunate. think that's everything. Yeah, no kidding, iquare. Alright, I just remembered I have some laundry down there that I gotta take care of, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. What's up, Ichabod? Why the long face, Connor? Oh, participate in full toilet. You got a whole month. What do you mean you don't know if you'll be able to participate? I can't believe it's only 11:20. What the fuck? Wasn't it 12 earlier? I feel like I lost some time. So my laundry's in the dryer. Oh yeah, how do I even say your name, dude? Hold on, sorry. Let me check it up. Sarania. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Yeah, Blender would work in theory, but most people use 3ds Max. Or most in-the-know people. Some people have gotten Blender to work, though. Yeah, next fall toilet, which is starting on the 1st of February, is the Valentine's crap. Yeah, dude, mark your calendar. I'm gonna record a... Actually, today would probably be a good day. It's 1 week out from the day. So later on today, after my mod stream, I'll record a map crap announcement log or whatever. Hey, you can't... You can't have that. Alright, let's see if we made any errors. Okay. Cool. Alright, so we've finished that stuff. Let's hop over to map 2's triggers. Get the briefing in. To the briefing etiquette. It's 12:50. That reminds me, I have to. I'm not sure about 3ds Max being on Steam. It might be, but I don't know. I've never looked at it there. I just hand it to people. Just here you go. Alright, so we just did that. What else do I have to do, though? I have to do something else. Alright. Oh, you know what? There's a couple of things that I can do before I bother with map 2. I mean, I'm already in the map, so I might as well do the briefing at least, but... Alright, let me find that. Reminds me, I've got to go through and delete. Punch!
Trying to see if there's any files that I actually need in this list. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, no kidding. How many have themes like normal Minecraft?
Yeah, it will. It's just that in addition, it's just like any other like special event theme where you get the theme of Valentine's Day, and then you also get a theme on top of that. So the Valentine's Day is assigned to everybody. The theme that you get is what you pick. So, all right. So we've just thrown all those in here. I should grab Crow, Death Sound. I think that's the only other one that I need. All right. I'll throw in an actual door sound at some point over here. I'm liking this keyboard though, even though it's loud as fuck. So after I'm done plugging in this dialogue event here, I should be good to test that. And then I'll hop in and do some data work. Hopping all around the place because I don't really have... Oops. There's not really like a single thing that I need to do that would take a long time. I guess triggers are probably the only thing, like the end-game dialogue events. But This is so dumb. I don't actually remember. Was this the last? Apparently I had another one. Yeah, Serenia. There's a download link somewhere. I don't remember where. It should be more like somebody provides instructions to a mapper, and then that person is doing the mod work, and they do like that's like a psychotic team event where like you get one mapper and one modder, and they just communicate back and forth to each other. But the thing is, like, there's only so much you can do with a map without any mod info that it almost becomes like there's not really that much that the mapper would be able to do, I feel like. It would be pretty insane, though. I just had an excellent idea. All right. That should work. I guess the only problem is I don't actually know if Ahmed has their portrait set up properly. But I guess I can just... Oops.
Well, we're here. When's the briefing start? Oh. Thank you for coming, gentlemen. I have a very important... But... 3... No.
I actually have no and yes
Who wrote
samples.
this shit? I want to speak to my agent and my lawyer. Listen, there's a friend of mine that's being attacked by anime right now. Can we help him? Great! Let's get a move on. Can I talk to my agent first? At least I'm getting paid for this. No. At least I'm getting paid for this.
Epic. Alright, that's pretty good. Obviously, I forgot to... I fucked up the line for Steve's last transmission. That's pretty good. Just have Ahmed show up. What I should also do, I guess, is quickly go and... I know I have at least one yes sound sample that I can sample from because I did it in, I think it was season 1.
Are you just recycling dialogue now?
What a line. Could use that all over the place.
Yes!
Well, it has the radio in the background, so it doesn't really make sense. I'll just have him do it when he's here, rather than reuse that. But, last time I used player jump, that's the one with the name comparison, right? Player combat is super useful. It's useful in literally every map. Like any map, I will use it in every map, pretty much. It's super useful because it allows you to compare like combat between players for all sorts of stuff. We do need to come up with some system though to. I don't know what the best system would be like on a conceptual level. So like here's an example for you, right? So you got Mongo here. Now, I want, say, obviously we're not going to implement this for this particular map because we don't have time to. But say I want to take some time to implement a system where I can detect who kills Mongo. Now, does it make sense to do who did the most, like, who overall contributed the most damage to his units? Or killed the most, like, accrued the most score by killing, like, in terms of attacking Mongo or something? Does it make sense to just track the whoever killed the last Mongo structure that was counted for his defeat? I think it's like the best conceptual system is probably who dealt the most damage in the past like 3 minutes or something, or some arbitrary amount of time. I chose 3 because 3, but like somewhere between like 2 and 5 minutes. Just track that. And whoever did the most damage within the last... Or basically, we would do something like... here, I'll write like a sample syntax. It would be like custom... Well, now it's just script, right? And it would be like comparison, damage dealt, player ID 1, player ID 2, or player ID damager, player ID victim, unit ID... And I guess it would be like time range and in frames, jump type, block, and these would be arbitrary, right? Well, I guess it would be jump type, and that would include weight. And if it's weight, you don't need a block. So an example of this would be like script, comparison, damage dealt. So for Mongo is player, what, 5 or something? 4? So it'd be like 18 for force 1, 3 for 4, because 0 based. And then it would be 3 for the victim, right? 18. And then... Oh, I guess we should probably swap these two out, now that I think about it. So, 18.3, any, or we'll say group factories. 5 minutes. Oh yeah, that's the thing, is like how do we take this amount? Well, the thing is, I don't know how do I get this into a value, you know what I mean? Like, I don't actually... I don't know how to... I guess you'd be comparing score, so it would be like... I just mean conceptually, what would we be comparing in this case, right? So it would be like... compare type, and so... this would be unit, group, factories. Score. All right, maybe this is maybe this will work, but it might also be overcomplicated. So I'll finish this one and send it to you, and you can tell me what you think, iquare, because it's like at least 6. Oh, I don't know. That's the other thing is, like, what we're trying to do is figure out who killed who, or who did the most damage to who, right? And so we should probably be comparing multiple players. So there should be 3 player IDs, right? Damager 1. Right? Or Damager A. Player B. Or maybe it should be comparing whoever. I don't know. See, the thing is, like, even if we are comparing this, it's more like, okay, so here, I'm going to try to write, like, a better example. So, like, for example, we're trying to figure out if, say, Mongo had the most damage dealt to him by the police, which is Force 1, 18 is the integer for that. And then, or the anime, which is, I guess, Force 2. It might be something else. Oh, Mike is in one side, okay. Yeah, so that would be Force 4, which is 22? 18, 19, 20, 21, or 21. Okay, so in this case, we're doing script comparison, damage dealt. 18, 19. So comparing the combined total damage dealt done by Force 1 and Force 2 with Force 4 against the victim, which is, in this case, player 4. And then we'll say well, we just wouldn't use it because that's arbitrary, right? All right, so in this particular case, we'll be like, compare A, compare B, deaths, 3, add 1, Ahmed blank. Like, it's just Ahmed in the unit diff right now. Or we'll say Mongo, right? Like Mongo blank. So in this particular case, right, we would be multi-running these at the beginning. So we'd be like, script name. So this would be our script, right? And then, so again, we would have like a bunch of shit in between, and then we would have these two threads multi-running, right? Comparing. So basically, what we would be doing here is we would be waiting if in. So I guess in this particular case, we would do like deaths 3 at least. Wait 1 Mongo blank, and change this to Ngagathor. Or I think it's like Mongo fursuit or something. So, right in this particular example, we have. I just have to correct the numbers here. 6, 7. So in this particular example, we have.
If you can't say it, you can't do it.
Two different comparison things happening, right? And then we would do because these would both be comparing, right? We would say like in a trigger, we would add a death of Mongo to player 3 when we're trying to fetch the calculation to make this next trigger. So like Mongo dies, Mongo commands exactly 0 factories. That's when we add the death. So we could even do like we could even do that in the script, right? So we can just do compare deaths or bring jump 3 exactly wait 0 group factories box 63 blank deaths 3 add 1 Mongo blank stop. And then with this would basically wait for that to happen and then set this, and these would, once that death was set, right, these would then compare, and if the police did the most damage, Ahmed would be player 3 would get an Ahmed death, or player 4 would get an Ahmed death. If the anime did the most damage, player 4 would get a Mongo fursuit death. In that case, we would run based on that calculation. You know what I mean, iquare? Does that make sense? Maybe this is overcomplicated. You might have a better idea. But this is my idea, basically, is like this way we would be able to track this. Take it easy, Connor. So like another example would be like damage dealt. I'm trying to think of like, I guess it's like 18. And then I think Aldaris was player 7 in Stormborn. And then the Overmind was player 4. That sounds about right. Or does it? Yeah, player 4. So, and then we would do score greater. Or I guess what we could do is like true. This would just be limited to one multi-thread at this point. So this would be like Stormborn. Compare force 1. Three, add 1. Yeah, I guess we could update that. Oh, I suppose that could be another thing too, right? So then it could be something like I guess it would be like compare Well, no, the game calculates score based on kills, so score is not... You don't need a system to track score, because the game already does that. What we need is an AI script command that will compare score of a certain player that they got from attacking another player. So that's a little bit different. You need to track score based on... Like, I guess you could just do raw number of kills, but then you could like have a player that kills a bunch of Zerglings, which is a very weak unit, and then a player that killed mostly buildings or Ultralisks, which are obviously less in number than Zerglings because they're spammed. And so you would have like a potential case of abuse there. So that's why I wanted to do score, because that's generally a better method. So, iquare, what you're talking about is some sort of like internal loop that would essentially look something like... it would be comparing damage dealt of Force 1 to player 4, in my example, score. And so you'd be writing this variable, right? You'd be taking this variable, and it would be like var... something like this. And then we would just compare it like this. No, I'm saying we don't want to do kill counts. We want to do score, which is different. We already have a track thing. I don't think dealt damage is necessary per se. It's more like score based on unit value. I think like the score unit system that is in the game by default has a good idea, I think. So if we just end up doing that, that should be fine. So we would be like... I don't know what it would actually look like. Would it be like if... I don't even know if you need the brackets for that or the parentheses for that, but it would be like... And this would be like overmind damage Aldaris dealt 6-3. Yeah, you wouldn't bother differentiating between that. This doesn't have a tangible gameplay effect. It's mostly just like what I'm talking about is a complicated system. But basically, all I want to do is detect who really did the most amount of damage within the last like some time that you can compare to within the last like 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 1 minute or 30 seconds. And the point is, I can use this to calculate who. What the dialogue event should be when an enemy dies. So, for example, there's in this particular case, we've got Mongo, and he's the player that I'm looking at right now. And so if he dies, and the one who did the most amount of damage to him in the last 2 minutes or something was the police, the player's faction, then I can make the dialogue event the police killing Mongo. And that could be like, there could be Mongo yelling at the cops. But that doesn't make sense if the other anime forces killed Mongo, and like then he's yelling at the police, obviously. So I need to have it be something where I can control what dialogue event gets played based on the circumstances of the game. And so that's all I'm doing is like, it's really, really a complicated comparison, I guess, just in terms of the operation, but it's only there just so that I can control what dialogue event the player receives on a certain player's death. So that's basically what I'm after. So I don't know if that's feasible, but... Get some more music on. Now we'll do this one. All right. Anyway, I'll send this to you in DMs, iquare, so that we can take a look at it together later. And you can tell me what you actually think. So I went through like the various examples of my custom scripts proposal, and then at the end I sort of like amalgamated that into a theoretical, more C++ oriented comparison. Right, yeah. So like in theory that could happen, but that's a very niche edge case. And that's where you do a lot of testing, and if that does crop up, what you can do to deal with that is make the what's the term? Like if you make it so that the time comparison, so you're comparing it from like say for an example, your case actually does occur in the game. And we're only tracking damage dealt within the last minute. And that's what happens is, like, obviously they got all the points for killing all of the structures that you left at a low HP, and they barely fended you off. And yet they were so weak that they rolled over when the other guys went down, but the other guys got more points because of that. So then we could add, like, an extra minute of calculation, right? So we could say, don't just compare the last minute, compare the last 2 minutes, or the last 3 or 4 or 5, however back we needed to go, with probably a cap of about 5. And that would allow us to track that. So basically we would be able to say, all right, in a small enough sample size, it seems like Torpedos or the other anime guys, they were the ones who wiped them out. But actually, if we had another one, it becomes more accurate. That's just something where we would figure out like a good rule of thumb to use for that sort of thing. We would figure that out based on a lot of testing. So. So there's ways around that concern, but I have a feeling it'll be mostly like the cases where that happens are pretty niche. And this allows us to be just more specific with our dialogue events, and so our characters will be more believable because they're saying things that make more sense given the context of the game. Like, one of the things that I regret about Stormborn, for example, which is another large-scale map that I did, is that it's a huge free-for-all. There's a huge number of enemies, like, all fighting each other. So there's, like, a team of 2 against 1, against another 1, against a team of 3. And so you have all of these 4 different factions in the map fighting each other. There's a chance that the player gets a transmission where it's presumed that they did the damage to the big bad, the big enemy leader of one of the teams. And like that's what it always presumes, is the dialogue event is written with that idea in mind. But there's a chance that one of the other teams kills it. And so then you get this dialogue event where, like, your characters are celebrating this triumph but they didn't even do anything. Or at least it doesn't seem like they did much leading up to that. Like, they didn't deal the killing blow, you know what I mean? Whereas, like, really the other team, whoever killed him, should be celebrating and vaunting, you know, or flaunting their success, right? They're being like, look, we're coming for you next or something. Like, that would be more intimidating, but also more applicable to the situation. It would make more sense. So that's sort of what I'm getting at there. It's like, in most cases, the dialogue event makes perfect sense because the player's the one who kills them. But in some cases, it can and has happened where the guy's killed by somebody else. So that was one of the things that got me thinking about this sort of system way back in like November or something, but we'll eventually implement it later. Right now we have a system where before we were tracking who killed who, like whose units killed whose other units, in order to figure out whether or not dialogue events should be played. Now we have a system that just compares whether or not they're in combat. And so the idea is like, it goes from you having to kill an enemy to you just having to shoot an enemy, or an enemy having to shoot you. You know, and then you get a dialogue event based on your units like responding to that, right? And so you get some discovery, which I think is a lot better than having to track kills. Though in some cases kills might still be more important, but it's very niche, where kills would be more preferable to just detecting whether or not combat is happening. So like that's way better, for example. Let's see. So I did the briefing. That's pretty much taken care of. Close that for now. Close that as well. Yeah, I wanted to do some stuff with... I don't actually know which unit ID Steve is. It's 99. I think I had to replace the Yamato cannon to give him the grenade toss ability a while ago, which is pretty funny. Did I have to replace the scanner sweep graphic? I don't remember. I feel like I did not. If we go to scanner sweep real quick, open up Flingy. Okay. Zero 19 11 0 19 say 9. Oh, probably help if I open up the right file. 0 19 9. Why don't we do like 9 boxes there? 8. HP would probably be, in theory, like raw damage dealt would be more accurate, but it's also kind of like, I'm not actually sure if you would get much more accuracy or to the point where it would be more useful. I mean, we may end up going with that instead anyway. This is all on a conceptual basis, so we probably won't get to implementing this system for another month or two, but we'll see. It's definitely going to be something that I would like to implement in all of my projects going forward, just so that we can have more accuracy. It's more freedom for a lot of things too in general. It's more freedom for what's the term? Just save that. But it's more freedom for like you being able to write better, more intelligent scripts for missions. And like you're always limited into what makes sense. You know what I mean? 81 is the entry. EVE cast. Okay. And what image ID am I? It's a sprite. 380. Aha. So in this case, we would just do GRP 525. Bang, bang, bang. Is this even used by anything? Doesn't look like it. Another thing I can do after I finish setting this stuff up. Alright, check this out. Ready? I'm going to copy over the animation code from the Marine over to the scanner sweep, which is hilarious. Oh, I guess we need a new Marine. Well, I need to import the Marine Shadow. But, yeah, I need a new image entry for that, I guess. Do we have UGH? Oh, I guess I could have used this instead. UGH Shadow, okay. So that's image ID 238. No, I kind of want to use that for something else, though, so... I'll do 233. And that's nuketarg.grp. Now we need to go into our graphics here. What is this? This we can close. Oh. Could we? No. It's okay. We can just copy it over again. Oh, and I guess I'll need to grab the sound files and all that again as well. He's gonna be the only Starcraft asset in the fucking game. Well, Brood War's pretty lightweight in terms of computation. Since it's such an old game. I'm not saying it's very memory efficient, but it's okay. Does the job. Alright, so I go in and grab here and grab Marine. So this is it Eve cast? Is that right? Eve cast. And No, you dummy. Nuke beam, nuke cat. That's. I gotta get used to that backslash being in that spot. That is not normal behavior for me. Okay. I should probably get rid of all the... Oh yeah, here we go. Do I have mission objective? Yeah, I do. Forgot I have to hit apply changes in that view. All right, we got our categories in. Oops. You're having some trouble with your browser. Yeah, I was just saying the Brood War is not very expensive computationally. Doesn't mean we shouldn't try to keep things stable, though. For sure, it should be something that we prioritize. I'm really I always advocate for people programming intelligently, which is one of the reasons I don't publish my own programming. As like, if I do any programming, it's like placeholder level shit just to see if the system will work, because I'm not a good programmer. Eventually I hope to become one, but it's one of those things that you need to put a lot of time into, and I wear a lot of hats already. As the fate is of any modder, you always wear many hats, trying to get everything that you can done, and that's just how it is. But I recognize I'm not up to snuff yet. Armageddon Psycho Factory. That's a structure that I would make. I'm looking for whatever I used for the retcon orifice, but I don't see it here. Oh, here it is. Rainmaker? That's really what it's called? Rainmaker Shrine. Psychotic. Alright. Have to go back here and check stuff out. Alright, I have all these. Let's see here. Just gonna see what I do and do not have wireframes for, so I know I need I need this one. Lori Schlacht, what's up, dude? This is me working on a Starcraft Brood War project. Excuse me. Alright, so I don't need that one. Wrong hole. Okay. So that's for the... Oh, DF said he's going to make retcon orifice one. That's Deep Office. Or, no, that's Choir Hall. I need to find his warden. Let me see if he did craft store. Now, I already have placeholders for these. And I need... I think I grabbed this in one of my tabs. This needs to be flipped, but I can do that easily enough. I don't need that one. Don't need that one. Gonna need that one. Yeah, I'm gonna need that one. We have that already. Did the... Hold on. Yeah, they are there. I don't know. Maybe DF can't see them for some reason. Said he's gonna do that one. Let's see. Ah, here's the Deep Office I can grab. I'm pretty sure this... I have this wireframe somewhere anyway, but...
I don't know where it is.
I'm pretty sure we're getting close, though. Some very interesting stuff happening here. Surely I'm close in my journey looking for this fucking wireframe. Wow, I really can't find it anywhere. It just doesn't exist. I probably already have it. Okay. Alright, anyway. We have all this stuff. Okay. So we know the stat crypt is fine. Kissing station is what unit ID? 139. Steep office. That is the damage controller, which is... I have to flip that one, though. That's deep office. Can't believe Dark Zone is the name of the race. What a disaster. And the Beholder's Eye is 201. Oh. Is it this? And a new deep office 121. Choir hall 115. Okay. I also need to find the warden, though. Which is 124 as an ID. I don't even remember where that building came from, though. People preparing for a party in the background. I should probably kill the stream pretty soon so I can help them, as a matter of fact. But, let's see. It might actually be in here somewhere. In my buildings, maybe. That's not it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It is 124, right? Yeah. Okay, that's done. Close that. Oh, hello, iquare. 3 questions. Regeneration upgrade and class switching. I haven't tested. Yeah, class switching seems to work. I didn't test it exhaustively, but I can do that. As far as the rest goes, it's 228. Why do I always do this to myself? Okay, cool.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Beholder's Eye and Damage Controller are just tier 3 tech structures for fanfiction and Reddit specifically. And Unthinkable Scripts and Outline. I don't know, I think I was able to get that map done in like 2 weeks or something. I don't really recall, to be honest with you. I guess you can take a look at all of the Unthinkable mod streams. I did most of the development of that on stream. So if I go to my... I think there's a... if I go to my mod stream playlist, I should be able to figure this out. Waiting for it to finish loading here. Hold on. Oh. It looks like the last couple of mod streams that I added went to the bottom of the list for some reason. I'm not sure why. Man, I can't believe how stupid YouTube's layout has turned into. Another case of real incompetence at the helm. Oh, it's just the most recent one, I guess. Wait, what? No, it just... Wow. I've got to reload it to load the others. Psychotic. Okay. Why? Why? Why is it like this, man? I just wanted to check something and move some files around, and it's got to be like this. Alright, I'll just, So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5 mod streams here for that particular project, but presumably there's more than that in terms of development hours. I don't really remember, but It didn't take me too long, I don't think. That's the bottom line. What? Oh boy. Why? What the fuck? Holy fuck. Dude, this has gone off the fucking rails. Alright, it looks like it just didn't save those particular ones. Why? Why is it like this? Man, I cannot get over how bad this UI is. It's not even functioning properly. I also have a feeling that there's actually more mod streams that I've done than just these, but who knows? What the fuck? Dude, why? Holy moly. You can't make this up! The whole playlist just vanished! Bye! Man, how are they so bad? No, I don't think so. I think you were the first one to release a campaign with GPTP. The fuck? Oh yeah, I forgot it. Breaks. Do you see what I have to do here? Like, I can't just... I have to hold it and click it and drag it and all this other shit. And hope that it doesn't just break halfway up. Yep, it broke again. So bye. Now I get to do that whole thing again. Oh, what a disaster. I don't understand what you were just saying about that whole thing, Ichabod. I have no idea what you mean. You're gonna have to explain it better. Reviving an internet cult. Alright, we have one more to go. I think. This might be mistitled. One of these is 24 and not 23, because there's already a 23 up there.
When was this released?
So this is the fraud one then. Just look how long it takes to load, man.
Yeah, so it should be 24.
Oh, okay. So you like you preload it in your head. You like write out what the general shit is, and yeah, I don't have any advanced ideas really. I just start throwing it together. Yeah, Desert Dogs will eventually be updated once Todborne. Well, with this version of the mod, I'll go back and fix it up and all that. So you were talking to about how you first saw my name in a conversation about plugins. It was probably when I was trying to get some plugins done for Inconsummate. Actually, it was a while ago. Okay. How's that? I just typed U by accident in SEM Draft. Alright, so now that we've done all those, and that we've added the wireframes and confirmed that those are working again, we are good to go, I think. We can move on. At some point, I do want to hook up the bear blower unit. It'll be for map 2, though, so I'm not super concerned about it. I also have to hook up the choir hall. I don't even know what graphics are available anymore. Actually, let me take a look at that. So we have the sound effects that we use for Steve as well are not exactly up to snuff, per se. Ah! I know what happened there. I forgot to import my iScript spoon. Yeah, no kidding. He's the godfather of all this shit, man.
What do you need? I'll take care of it.
I wonder why he has a fucked up shadow.
How can I be of service? I'm here.
Oh, I probably don't use the right iScript for that. Let me go into images.dat, we'll fix that up. Yeah, no kidding. So, it's using nuke targ, right? So we would do 275. Seven. Marine remnants. And okay. Oh yeah, so that's 232. In iScript we have to go and find 507. And it's 019. I don't know why that's important, but there we go.
What do you need? I'm here. You got it.
Cool.
I'll take care of it.
It works just fine, I think. Alright. Nice. So the only other thing is I have to actually enable shields for him. I didn't do that. And then I think we're good after that. Cool. So the only thing is I have to give him custom death sound and obviously unit responses, which I forgot about. So should probably find some time to do that. So I guess I could just use old ones. This keyboard's destroying me. It's okay, I'll get used to it. I have no idea what the neutron flare overlay was going to be now. Alright. So we've done that. We've made sure Steve is hooked up. That's pretty good. Okay. Very neat. So yeah, all we need to do is get his unit responses done, and then he's good. Where's my to-do list? Did the briefing. Cool. Pretty nice. I like it. All right, so we will continue getting work done on this as time goes on. I'm going to get out of here and prepare for a birthday party of epic proportions. And I will see you guys later at some point. So stay tuned. Tomorrow, we'll definitely be back for this. A little bit later, we'll be back with some Counter-Strike and enjoy Fraud Night. So see you then.